Hey everyone, welcome back to the Kia Hyundai channel. My name's Gabby.
I'm Charlotte.
And these are two compact competitors. One is the 2025 Kia K4, brand new model for Kia's lineup. And the other is
the 2025 Hyundai Elantra Essential, which is not a brand new model, nor is it a refresh. It's just the 2025 version.
Hey, but it's a pretty awesome car.
It is, especially with a price point of $22,599 Canadian for the MSRP.
Yes. Now both of these vehicles are in their entry trim levels, and there's only a $1,400 price difference between the two. It's actually just under $1,400. The K4 is the more expensive model, but there's actually quite a bit of difference between the two vehicles considering they share so many components.
Definitely.
So that's the whole goal of today's video, is to give you a complete and in-depth walkthrough of both vehicles so you can make an informed decision. However, we'd really like you to let us know which you'd prefer just by watching the live.
Yeah, so, and if you haven't picked up on it, the fact that this video is live, so if you have any questions about either of these vehicles, if there's anything you want us to circle back to, feel free to put that in the live chat and we'll do our very best to show it or answer it for you. If you're watching this after it's already posted and still have questions about either vehicle, leave them as a regular comment down below, but make sure that you hit the subscribe button first.
And the like button.
And the like button. It's free.
All right, so shall we get into it, Charlotte?
Let's go.
All right, let's start off with the more expensive model. We'll go over to the K4. So this vehicle is priced at $23,995 Canadian, exactly $1,396 more expensive than the Hyundai Elantra.
Okay, math.
Here's what you get in it. So first things first, you get a beautiful daytime running light. It's an amber LED. You also get full LEDs for your positioning lights and your main headlamp unit. So it's very nice to see LEDs in an entry trim level. However, that's not exactly exclusive to the K4, because I don't know if you guys could tell, the Elantra also has full LEDs. Let's keep going though. So continuing on with the K4, you can see we got some pretty simple lines, but they still look good. A lot of them are going to accentuate the wideness of this vehicle. It's definitely a large sedan, especially considering it's a compact. So when it comes in terms for space on the interior, you'll be pleasantly surprised. However, design, fairly simple, looks good though. Towards the bottom of this vehicle, that's where you'll find some of the technology changes and safety changes, and that's going to come down to this radar plate right over here. So that rectangular shape is essentially going to provide you with a couple extra safety functions. Number one being smart cruise control. So this vehicle, on the driver's steering wheel, that's the only steering wheel you'll find on this car.
Oh, I thought it was the,
the passenger steering wheel.
The middle seat.
So on the steering wheel, you'll have driver convenience controls, one of which allows you to set the following distance from the vehicle ahead of you. Now there's 4 different presets, and all of them will take you up to a complete stop if you hit stop and go traffic. So this vehicle is fairly capable, and that's a great safety function. However, you also get an advancement to the collision avoidance. So most of our vehicles come standard with forward collision avoidance. However, this one will also work if you're making a left at a busy intersection. So think making a left at a junction and there's a car coming up ahead of you. You don't see it, happens fast out of nowhere. The vehicle will warn you and then apply brake force to avoid said collision all on its own. You also have pedestrian detection and cyclist detection as well too, all of which will alert the vehicle system and provide brake force if necessary. Now, in terms of powertrains, both of these vehicles are going to share the same engine and transmission. So I'm probably going to keep things simple and only pop the hood on the K4, just for convenience. Alrighty. So it's a 2-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder. Both of them will provide you with 147 horsepower with 132 pound-feet of torque. Let's give it a lift. You do have a prop arm, so no hydraulic lift on the hoods for these trims. But check it out. So 2-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder, 147 horse with 132 pound-feet of torque shared between the two models. You'll also
They share 147?
No, each
like,
one gets their
split?
own individually.
Okay.
You also get an IVT transmission, so that stands for Intelligent Variable Transmission. Works very similar to a CVT in terms of infinite gear ratios. Essentially what that means for you, if you're not a car person, this vehicle is always going to create the perfect gear ratio for whatever kind of driving you're doing. So it's a very efficient system. However, it performs like a regular automatic would in the sense that you put the vehicle in drive and go. You don't actually have to do anything differently as a driver, so it's very, very simple. A couple other changes are going to come down to just the drivability of these vehicles. Now, obviously, both of them are going to have the same specs, but you do get an advanced function in the Elantra that you only get on the K4 if you move up a trim level. That's called Drive Mode Select. So on the Elantra, you're able to cycle the vehicle in Sport Mode, Eco Mode, Smart Mode. You don't have that for the K4. However, in its own regular drive mode, it's still very efficient and plenty responsive if you need it. Let's take a quick look at the wheels. So for the K4, you'll notice we have a 16-inch wheel. And I say wheel, not alloy, because it's a steely wheelie. However, you do get this very large wheel cover that kind of gives the illusion of an alloy at first glance. Matches this paint color perfectly, by the way, so if you opt for the steel gray,
details,
you have color matched wheel covers. Now I will say steel wheels, they might not be the most fashionable choice, but it's fairly good, especially if you're worried about curbing your rims or winter, that kind of thing. And hey, if you're not a fan of them and you plan on swapping them out, you could totally use this for your winter tire setup and opt for a different alloy for your all-season wheels. All right, I'll also mention, since we're by the wheels, that both of these vehicles are front-wheel drive and they're both going to have disc brakes. So ventilated disc brakes up the front, solid disc brakes back at the rear. Let's take a look closer towards some of the other tech advancements of the Kia K4. So you do get some body color mirrors. That's not exactly tech, but I'll talk about tech in a second.
It's style.
They are electronically controlled and heated, so very easy to adjust. Here's an advancement, though, that the Elantra does not have on its trim. That's the fact that we do have our proximity access for our door handles. So that's going to come down to this little button on the handle. As long as the key is somewhere on you, could be in your bag or in your pocket, you walk up to the driver or passenger door, press that to unlock your car, press it again to lock it when you're done. So you never have to dig for your keys. You don't have to find your key fob to unlock your car. It's pretty nice if you ask me. Now, coming along towards the back of the vehicle, there's definitely a different approach towards the styling of this vehicle. You'll notice it's very sloped at the back, giving it the illusion of a very short trunk. Very, very sleek lines. It's a very wider vehicle. There's a lot more curves, if that makes sense, where I find the Elantra has a lot more sharp lines. So you can probably get a glimpse of that there now that Charlotte panned over. Another change is going to be the fact that we have a pillar-mounted rear door handle, something we don't it's our first car that has it, actually. We've never seen it before. So it takes some getting used to, but I mean, if you're owning this vehicle, daily driving it, you'll know where the door handle is. So it's only a first thing. You do get a shark fin antenna as well. This vehicle will also have Sirius XM, and when you hop inside the cabin, Charlotte will show you there's definitely a lot of differences in tech for the cabin. Now, your tail lamps are going to be a mix of LEDs and traditional bulbs. They expand almost entirely to the back end, stopping around here with a nice gloss black element. I was going to say pillar, but we just have a line. For our Kia emblem, it's nicely stamped into the back end here, and we do have a proximity tailgate release or trunk release. So a lot of people, this seems like a very simple function, but I will say Kia does it a little bit more advanced. So there is an ability to turn this on to be proximity focused or just have it as a simple button style approach. So when you have the proximity function on, you simply walk up to the back end of your vehicle, it senses you're in the area of detection and automatically opens it for you. Now, it's not like an SUV that has a smart power liftgate. You still have to manually close it. It's not going to close itself, but it's nice because you don't have to drop the stuff that you're carrying to put it into your trunk. It just kind of opens for you. Space-wise, there's plenty of room here. We get about 413 liters of cargo space. That's behind, of course, your rear seats. And you do get a temporary spare tire. This is a compact size tire.
Compact and a compact.
Compact and a compact. Now there's also plenty of space surrounding the tire as well too. So if you like having washer fluid in your vehicle, extra blankets, a shovel, whatever it may be. We live in Canada and today we're getting a really big storm.
Yeah, we're bracing for a storm. I don't know if you guys can hear the wind, but it's pretty crazy outside today.
I can't wait to drive home today. But still plenty of space. And then of course you have your regular cargo room above the cargo floor that you can still utilize for whatever you need really. Okay, let's close this up. So I mentioned horsepower, torque, transmission, wheels. I think it's the time we take a look at the Elantra. So I'm going to follow Charlotte over to the front end again, and we'll get a nice clean look at the front end of this vehicle, just how different the styling is. So I like to say the Elantra is definitely a little bit more classic in its approach, which is interesting because when we used to compare the Elantra to the Kia Forte, I always used to say the Forte was the classic one and the Elantra was a little bit more styled and modern. It's a little different now. Anyway, nice clean lines. Again, with the sharp focus, you'll see a little bit of metal accents across the front end and a stamped in Hyundai emblem. The fact that they changed their emblem to be a little bit more flat and modern, I think looks fantastic on all of our cars. So I'm very happy they did that. They also made LED standard. So that was on the 2024 models and following. So 2024, 2025, of course. Every other previous model, the Essential, had regular bulbs, so huge advancement there. You no longer have to move up a couple trim levels. Nice body color, regular flat black plastic grille, and there is no radar sensor on this vehicle, but you still get great safety functions. So you'll get lane keep and lane follow assistance, as well as forward collision avoidance and pedestrian and cyclist detection. So there is still some great safety functions in this Essential package. Like I mentioned earlier, I'm not going to pop the hood just because It's exactly the same as what's under there. Same horsepower, same torque, same engine size, all that good stuff. Let's take a look at the wheels now. So the wheels on the Elantra are going to be 15-inch alloys.
I don't know why I backed up.
Charlotte zoned out for a second.
There were sirens going by.
Yeah.
That was my bad, guys.
So 15-inch aluminum alloys. It's very similar in color to the wheel covers on the K4. So it's that nice gray, metallic gray. The only thing I don't like about this, why didn't they match the center caps to the color of the alloy itself? I don't know. You might love it.
Those are like machine finished too.
I'm not mad at it, but I just don't understand it. Now, definitely a smaller size. So that's where a bit of a difference in efficiency comes into play between these two vehicles. Like I said, same size segment, same engine, same transmission. How is one more fuel efficient than the other? Well, this one's got smaller wheels. So this vehicle is going to be rated at 6.5 liters per 100 kilometers, while the Kia K4 is going to be rated at 7 liters per 100 kilometers. Now, those are combined functions. Another thing that this vehicle has going for it that the K4 does not have is idle stop and go. So that is that function that shuts off your engine when you come to a complete stop. So let's say at a red light, that kind of thing. It'll turn your vehicle back on, of course, when you get back up to moving again. And this doesn't mean your vehicle shuts off completely. Your radio will still be on, your lights will still be on. It's just going to temporarily shut off your engine. All right, I'm realizing I'm rambling a little bit, so let's take a look at the body lines of this vehicle, and then we'll take a look at the trunk.
I'm gonna come around from this side because I think it might be easier to show.
So again, a little bit less fastbacky like the K4 was, and definitely a bit more sedan-like. Lots more sharp lines, so you'll see a lot of almost fold elements in, so a nice body line there, and then a contrasting one going downwards.
Origami lines.
So these lines aren't running parallel, they're crossing.
Thank you.
Yes, but like Charlotte said, I like to call them origami lines. It does look like nice big folds on the vehicle. I'm gonna pop the trunk, and of course there's no trunk release on this trim level, so again, you have to do it either from the driver's area or from the key fob itself. Let's open that up. Cargo space is of course gonna be very similar between the two. Both vehicles will have latches to knock down the rear seats, so if you just need extra room, you can knock those down. There is no spare tire on this vehicle. You do get a mobility kit instead. However, you can see there is certainly enough space to put in a spare if you choose to do so. Okay, and we shall close this up. Maybe take a quick look at the back end. Hello, there we go. Our tail lamps, just regular bulbs, of course, expanding quite a ways across. Now that's not a full light sequence, that's just the red bar.
Detailing.
Yeah, detailing. Elantra badging nicely stamped into the back end and very spaced out. And then same thing with your Hyundai emblem, just nicely planted in. It looks like it's finished in the panel itself. Both vehicles are gonna have backup cameras, but Charlotte will show you what that looks like on the inside of the vehicle. And the final thing I'll touch on is fuel. So both vehicles are gonna have a 47-liter tank, so one's not gonna be more expensive to run than the other, although this one is a little bit more efficient. And regular unleaded fuel is fine for both cars. All right, let's take a look inside. Charlotte, are you starting off the K4?
I think I'll start off with the Elantra. The door's already open, it just seems so welcoming.
It's inviting.
Yeah, so I'll hop right in there. Okay guys, so now if you've missed it, my name is Charlotte. We're gonna take a look on the interior of both of these vehicles now. We're gonna start with the Elantra and show some of the key differences between this and the Kia K4. Now, don't click off this yet because you're going to be impressed by some of the differences and also what you get for both price points. I think it's fantastic value no matter which one you choose. So let's start off with the driver's side door. Both of them are going to have some really great design elements, and I like that this one specifically has a mix of materials here, so you can see that there is a little bit of texture to the plastic here versus just regular smooth plastic. Now, one of the key differences is the Elantra is going to have a 6-speaker system, where the K4 is only going to have 4 in the entry level. If you want the 6, you have to go up a trim level for the K4. Both vehicles are going to have an obstacle detecting and one-touch window, which means if I just flick this up, basically what it's going to do is it's going to fully raise that window up and down with just the press of a button. And then it's also obstacle detecting, meaning if I had my hand there and it detected it, it would drop back down, no pinched fingers in this vehicle, or in the K4 for that matter. Regular automatic windows for everyone else, and down below, convenience pocket with some bottle storage. Now your seats are going to be different when you're comparing them.
Wait. Did you mention speakers?
Speakers. I just did.
Oh.
Yes.
I zoned out.
Oh.
It was my turn to zone out.
We're both on that today. Yes. 6 speakers, 2 of which are right here. So that's a third of them. 4 speakers in the K4. Okay, let's talk about seats. So the seats are going to be pretty similar when you're comparing the driver's seats between the two vehicles, but the passenger is where we're going to see some differences. So the driver's seat for the Elantra is going to be a 6-way manual adjustment. So you can, of course, adjust your legroom, you can adjust the height, and also your backrest. That went back further than I thought.
Awesome.
Okay, I'm back. Now, both seats are going to be cloth. Now, I will say both are going to have a different look to them, and I really like the design on the insert here. You can see that we have a little bit of a heathered black going on with some striping detailing, which I think looks very good. The two main seats in this vehicle are also going to be heated, so very comfortable. As we take a look on this side, you'll notice our brightness adjuster, your idle stop and go, which only the Elantra has, the K4 does not have, as Gabby mentioned. So depending on how you feel about that, that may be a selling point or a disadvantage, depending on the vehicle you're looking at. And then you're also going to have your traction control located right here. Steering wheel, it is just a regular black plastic steering wheel, but you're going to have that split between your driving controls and your media controls. Now, of course, what your driving controls are going to do is going to vary from the vehicle depending on the features that they are enabled with, but it is going to give you that same split. The screen, you have a 4-inch screen located right here for your instrument cluster, and you do have a digital speedometer and tachometer. However, it's only going to be that center screen that's going to change. Both vehicles have this trip computer. You are going to be able to access your driver's assistance from this instrument cluster. So if you want to adjust your safety features, you can do so.
With that button?
With this button, the notes icon, and then the toggles down below. And then over here, you're still, of course, going to have those media controls. So your virtual assistant, media modes, favorites button, and of course, your calling too. All right, also the design of the wheel is going to be something that's very different. We have some extra spoking here on the Elantra, and we're going to see a different approach when it comes to the K4.
I definitely, sorry, opinion alert. I like
Opinion alert.
I like the wheel of the Elantra better, for sure.
I really like the extra spoking.
Yeah.
It's quite comfortable to hold.
Yeah.
All right, do you want to come around?
For sure. Someone just asked if this is the Elantra or the K4. So right now we are currently on the interior segment for the Elantra. Right after that, we will check out the interior of the K4. And if you missed the live stream so far, we've already done the exterior of both cars.
Yeah, and if you want a full in-depth walkthrough on either of these vehicles, we actually already have those videos linked down below, so you can go check them out if you want to see either in more detail. Now, Gabby, your seat is a little bit different. You have 4 different ways that you can configure it. You can move it. I can't move it like this. This is too awkward of a position.
Here,
for me.
you pull the bar, I'll move
Okay,
it.
thank you. Teamwork.
Yes.
Slide. Okay, it's not sliding, guys. It does slide forward, so you can adjust your legroom, and then you can also adjust your backrest, but no height adjustment for this vehicle.
There's your backrest.
Yeah, sources trust us. One of the other differences between the vehicles is when it comes to legroom, they're identical in both the front and the rear. However, you are going to get a slightly greater headroom in the Elantra than you are in the K4. And that's just because the Elantra is a little bit more compacted in the height department, but it's overall, stretched a little bit bigger, stretched to all 4 corners, as Gabby likes to say. One of the main differences is also the fact that you don't have a push button start or any type of keyless entry. You're operating with a straight keyless ignition, but you can, of course, open up your trunk from your key fob. So even if you're standing back here, you can pull out your key fob and you can open it up, which is nice and convenient. Your multimedia screen, it's 8 inches, and we are operating with different software between these two vehicles. However, because we have the 8-inch screen in this vehicle, you are still able to use a wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. So that is definitely a win when comparing these two vehicles. All right, all of these buttons, I like the mix of real buttons and real dials, which again are going to say exactly as they do. You have manual climate control in each. Both vehicles are going to be equipped with air conditioning, thank goodness, and then you can still adjust your fan speed and fan direction. And again, all real dials, which I really like. More convenience controls down here, such as your air conditioning, your heated seats, your recirculated air, and your rear defrost. And down below, you have the option for 3 different types of charging and 1 form of connectivity. You have a 12 volt, a USB, which you can use to connect for your CarPlay as well. Then you have a USB-C, which you can use for charging as well. So I love the variation that we see. Now, again, another key difference is going to be the fact that this vehicle is equipped with drive modes, where you are going to have to go up to the EX trim for the K4. And the nice thing is that they actually will change the color display ringing around your tachometer and your speedometer, which is something that I really do like. So it's going to help you find, again, those perfect gear ratios for the type of driving that you want to do. And then also, you're going to have your rear view camera. So here you can see it with dynamic guidelines too. Both vehicles are going to have the same, and you both have different viewpoints. Well, not different viewpoints, but there are multiple viewpoints on both vehicles. So top-down view if you are utilizing something like an accessory hitch. However, both vehicles neither are rated for towing. Regular handbrake, your cup holders. Gabby likes to say free cup with purchase for the Elantra. It's not, it's just a cup holder.
That's a selling feature.
But it is detachable. And then here's what your center console is going to look like as well. So decent amount of hidden storage space. And then up top, you do have your interior lighting. And then 4 airbags. Both vehicles are going to have 8 different airbags. They also have driver's attention warning, meaning if a vehicle is pulling ahead of you and you are not moving, it just detects that the vehicle ahead of you is moving. It will give you a little bit of an alert on your dash, a beep, and a visual, just to let you know that that vehicle is moving away. Very handy for drive-thrus.
It's actually an awesome feature.
I love it for drive-thrus.
Yeah.
All right, let's take a look at the second row.
Regular rear door handle.
Regular rear door handle, that's right. So both of the second rows are going to be pretty straightforward. I like that the seats back here still have that same detailing on the insert. It doesn't make it feel like this has been forgotten about. And then we both vehicles are going to have under the seat rear duct heating. And then you have dual USB-Cs located right here, so even if you are in the back, you can still charge up your devices should you need to. The doors are also going to house speakers and then also another bottle holder. I say bottle holder because we do not have an integrated armrest here with cup holders. It is just what you have on the door there. Middle seat, it's fairly wide. It's actually almost the same width as these regular seats, which is very nice and comfortable. If I am putting my feet here on the hump, of course I'm going to lose a little bit of leg room, but the nice thing is hopefully I'll have some nice friends here who can let me use them. But yeah, the legroom back here on these vehicles is actually quite impressive. And like I said, it is identical for the front and for the second row for both vehicles.
Mm-hmm. A couple people are, I just saw Ryan say, yes, these are both introductory trims. So I'm assuming someone asked if these are base models.
Yes, so first the K4 and first the Elantra.
Yeah. Now, of course, this is just standard equipment. If you're someone who likes leather or premium sound system, both vehicles have those options available, just not in the entry trim.
It can only go up from here.
Yes.
We actually have done a video where we've compared the 2 top trims of this as a live, so if you want to go and check that out, it is available on our channel. We've done pretty much everything. Okay.
We are the Kia Hyundai
We are the Kia Hyundai channel. You'll never believe what we film. All right, so let's talk about some detailing here. Again, you're going to notice right off the bat we have some two-tone, so some black, and then also some gray here. Now, something that's going to look very different is our convenience features. You actually have your heated seats are going to be integrated into the door. So for both the driver and the passenger, you'll be able to press those. Our front window is going to be the same, obstacle detecting with one touch, which is very nice to see. And I didn't mention this on the Elantra, but both vehicles do have electronically controlled mirrors. Down below, you have your bottle holder for this side, and one of 4 speakers. We are missing the up top tweeter speakers here. All right, seats. So same type of seat, forward, backward, height adjustment, and your backrest too. And similar with what we see on the Elantra, we have a different color for our insert. It is that gray, which I think goes really well with the door. So the design is very well thought out, and these seats, they are quite comfortable. They are quite cushy. I really like them. Mm-hmm. On this side, you're still going to have your brightness control. You're also going to have your electronic parking brake and your traction control. Now let's take a look at the steering wheel because things get different here. It's still black and plastic. However, we have flat on the top, flat on the bottom, and we have an off-center logo. So definitely looks a little bit different, but I do find it comfortable to drive in. And I kind of like to drive like a race car driver anyways, so that is quite comfortable. And then you'll also notice the fact here, we're going to have that same split between our driving controls and our media controls as well.
Different sides, though.
Different sides, so they are reversed, but they still do the same functions.
This one's got smart cruise control.
This one does have smart cruise control. Thank you. All right, do you want to come around to the side?
Yep. I didn't mention this earlier, but of course both vehicles have full LEDs, but they also both have intelligent high beam assist standard. So that's the function that automatically shuts off your high beams when it senses another vehicle coming up in proximity.
Now your seat is special.
Yes.
Why is it special?
So it is a manual seat, but it's a 6-way manual seat, meaning it has the exact same configurations as Charlotte's driver's seat.
We got a height adjustment on the base model, baby.
Oh yeah.
That's pretty sweet.
Yes, the compact segment does not do that.
No. So it's great to see matching seats. And again, you can get a better look at some of that gray cross-hatching for the insert. Okay, so taking a look at the cabin, I want to talk about what I see directly in front of me. I still have that same 4.2-inch screen, but you'll notice our speedometer and our tachometer look a little bit different. We are going to have some different software, but of course from here, I'm pressing the wrong side of the buttons. There we go. You're still going to be able to see which safety features are enabled and your multi-way trip computer too. So all of that is going to be the same, if not very similar. Now, what I think the biggest difference is has to be your multimedia screen. You'll notice that we are running with Kia and Hyundai's brand new software, so that means you have the capacity for over-the-air updates. You're gonna get wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto with this bigger screen, and you also have standard Kia Connect, which is going to be Kia's telematics system. So with that, you can lock and unlock, you can precondition your cabin all from your phone. There's also a lot of other location services that you can use. That is available on the Elantra, however, you do have to go up a trim to get that, so it's not available on the base model. But this software, I will say, it is quite slick. I really love it. The connection is very, very strong, especially when you are operating with wireless. And then, like what I showed on the Elantra, if you want to change any of those driver's assistance features, you can do so through this main head unit instead of having to go in through your instrument cluster. Also, this is going to look very different. Instead of seeing dials, we're seeing a lot more buttons. So from here, you'll notice we have a home, map, which when your phone is paired will be your phone's map. You also have a search function, so if you want to search for contacts, media, or different features, you can definitely use this button to do so. Then media, favorites, and quick jump into that setup. Down below, you'll notice we have our climate control. So each of these buttons is going to change, of course, which direction of the fan, and they're each their own button, which I really like. Aside from that, you still have front and rear defrost. You're able to adjust your temperature, and then, of course, also your fan strength. Down below, you only have USB-Cs and a 12-volt. Now this one is dual purpose, where it can be used for connectivity, so if you want to use it for CarPlay, you can, or for just charging, you can as well. And then another one for your passenger. Lots of space here, though, for your phone. Push to start, which I think is a pretty big deal. And then because we have that electronic parking brake, we also have the vehicle equipped with auto hold, so when this is enabled, if you're driving your vehicle and you bring it to a full and complete stop, it actually will allow you to take your foot off of the brake pedal and keep you there at a stop until you go and put your foot back onto the gas and proceed to go. So that's one of the differences as well. Rear view camera, you can see definitely a little bit of a bigger screen on this one. Still gonna have dynamic guidelines, still gonna have that top-down viewpoint, however this is also going to add on a wide view. Your cup holders are also going to look different. They are guillotine style, so they will hold your drinks in nice and tight, and it also means that they are adjustable. Center console, nothing too crazy in there, decent amount of hidden storage. And then up top, you'll notice that we have our controls here for Kia Connect and LED interior lighting with a mirror that you can push back to dim. So not automatically dimming, but manual dimming. Should we take a look at the second row?
Yes. Non-regular door handle.
Okay, so similar again to the Elantra, we have the exact same amount of legroom. Now this seat is moved forward a little bit more than the Elantra, so if this is appearing like it has more, it doesn't. It's the same specs. Seats still have that nice gray cross hatching for the insert, which I think looks really good. We have the same USB-Cs back here. We have under the seat duct heating too, a convenience pocket too, and then on our doors we're gonna have a speaker and another bottle holder. Now, for some interior safety features, some of the differences that this vehicle is going to have, it's still going to be equipped with that driver's attention warning. However, it's going to add on what's called a rear occupant alert. So if you do put something here in the back seat, if the vehicle's locked, you unlock it, you open the back door, close it, get into the driver's seat. If it does detect that you have done that and there is something back here, it's going to give you an alert just to remind you to check your back seats to make sure that you're not leaving anything back here, especially anything that may be living. It's definitely not something that we want to do. Now, when it comes to collision safety, both vehicles have been rated as a top safety pick by the IIHS. The NHTSA has ranked the Elantra as a 5-star safety in the event of a collision. However, the data is not available yet for the K4 because it is a brand new model. One last thing I'll point out, and then I promise I'm done, has to do with the design, but the design of these seats are actually different too. So these are going to double as a coat holder or a bag holder to just help keep you using that usable legroom. Instead of having to take up any room on the floor, you can simply just enjoy all the legroom. But I think that pretty much covers it.
I think so. All right. Shall we check out the questions?
Let's do some questions.
Alrighty. Quick MSRP again. $22,599 for the Elantra. $23,995 for the K4.
Yeah.
All right, let's flip the camera and we'll place you guys down here if that's okay. Whew, that was not good. All right.
Okay, we might have to try to stand in the middle. And far. Man, this is weird.
I know, the new angle.
Don't know if I
unlocked.
like this.
Alrighty. Someone said you don't need 4-wheel drive, you just need to drive better. And to that, I love that. I love that response.
We recommend snow tires.
Yes.
We love snow tires.
I'm not sure I love the gray seats in the K4. What do you think? So
I really like them.
I feel like they look a lot grayer on camera. They're pretty dark in person, but they're not so dark where the cabin feels like confined or just washed out.
I actually really like it. I always like a little bit of contrast. It shows me, number one, that they put thought into the design. I also just think it brightens up the space because everything is just black on the interior nowadays, whether it's the dash, whether it's the seat, you know, obviously the carpeting, everything is pretty dark. So it's nice to see a little bit of contrast.
Daniel's on. I just want to say hello. Or don't, I should say. Are you guys coming to the Toronto Auto Show? Yeah, so we're going to be there tomorrow for Media Day. We're probably going to be there all day, just like last year and the year before.
Yes.
So you can probably find us at either the Kia or the Hyundai booth.
We'll be there.
We'll be at both, but not at the same time. All right. Charlotte has a resemblance with Julia Barreto, a movie actress from the Philippines.
I do not know who that is, so I'll have to look her up.
We'll have to ask Michael.
Yeah, Michael will know.
Let's see. We got asked if we speak French, so definitely not fluently, but
Enough to get by.
yeah, we do learn French as a second language here in Canada. So in elementary school and high school, you take French. Will the Kia K4 GT line ever come to Europe, Ireland, or is it just America and Canada? So you guys get different cars. I don't think you'll get the K4, but you'll have similar vehicles, if that makes sense. Different nameplates. I know in Europe you guys get the Kia Ceed or the Exceed, the Cerato. So you guys get a lot of cool. Picanto.
I don't know if they get that in Europe, actually.
Yeah, maybe not. But you guys get some pretty awesome cars. Which car offers better fuel efficiency? This one.
Wheels, baby, wheels.
Wheels and also that idle stop and go function. Love it or hate it, but when you're doing a lot of stop and go driving in the city, so lots of red lights, that kind of thing, the fact that the engine shuts off temporarily, that helps conserve fuel.
Yeah, and that's just because you're not idling. You're stopping the idle, as the name implies. So sometimes I have to explain that more than you'd think.
Yes, yeah. Ryan said we don't get the Star yet in Canada. Yeah, that's right. So here, Kia gets a van. It's called the Carnival, but the Elantra, the Hyundai side of things, we do not get a van for them.
How I wish the Kia K4 with the fancy-looking tiny LEDs would be like the EV3 when you start the car and it plays an awesome light show. So that definitely is really cool tech. But if you think about it, like, you can't really take up too much encased and closed. You got to get some ventilation in here because it is gas, not just fully electric. So you can't really take up that full body panel with all of the integrated LEDs. But you are right, it does look beautiful. We don't have the EV3 here, but we do have the EV9, which does have the same feature, and it's a lot of fun. It looks really good.
Obama Bean said, Charlotte, what's the word at the dealership about me?
Well, I thought you and Gabi were running away together. That's what I've heard.
It's all good things.
She's got her bags packed.
There's too much front grills on the Elantra. Must be good at collecting snow. See, I don't think it's that much grills.
You know what? It shows a lot more on camera.
Yeah. A lot of them are actually closed, too.
Do you want me to get closer?
Yeah.
Here, let me get that. I got you guys. Don't worry. Okay. Sorry.
So these are open. You have one open element here, and of course it's repeated on the other side.
Closed.
Closed grill. So yeah, I'd imagine some snow sticks in there, but nothing a little quick rinse can't take off.
Yeah, the thing is, like, it's decently wide, so like it's easily wipeable, I would say. Definitely a lot more down here, open, like you can see your rad through there, but.
Which vehicle do you pick, Gabi? I'm gonna pick the K4, and I'm only picking it for two things.
Sorry,
do you want me to show you the two things?
I will bring the camera.
Okay.
I just set it down.
Actually, three things.
Okay, show me. Number
one, the entry. Now that I have a vehicle that doesn't have this kind of entry, I'm pretty upset. So it's really nice to just, because I don't know, I wear like 3 sweaters. I have 2 bags with me every single day. I don't know where my keys are. So it's really nice just being able to press that, get into your car, and then it's push to start. So you literally never have to touch your keys. I also really love remote start. So that's 3 things right there. Push to start, remote start, and keyless or comfort entry. That's all.
Thank you.
But the Elantra also gets that in other trim levels. So it's not to say the K4 is the better car. They're both fantastic cars. Which would you guys pick?
Now, realistically, when you're comparing both vehicles, like you're gonna get feature for feature almost as you go up in trims. It's just, you know, what trim is it gonna start on it, you know? When is it going to be equipped? When is it not going to be equipped? Okay, I'm turning the camera around, jump scare warning. Jump scare warning. Oh my gosh. Okay.
Why is this belt sticking out so much? All right.
Shuffle into the middle.
Well, we're at 35 minutes, so we should
man.
probably end off today's video, you guys. We want to say thank you so much for tuning in. There's 131 of you on right now, and that's
Thank you,
just the
guys.
live. So if you're on right now, leave a like. Why are our likes only 64, but the viewers are 131?
It's less than 50%.
That doesn't make sense.
But seriously, if you could please like this video, we'd appreciate it. And hopefully we'll be able to see you guys live tomorrow at the Toronto Auto Show.
Yes.
So we probably will be doing a live
Yes.
in some format.
We don't know what time because we don't know
What our schedule is going to look like. So if you haven't turned on your post notifications, make sure you do so.
Yeah, or follow us on our social media. Shars_cars_KHC.
It's dot, but it's fine.
Okay.
I thought you were going to give yours, so that was
No,
impressive.
mine's Gabby's_garage.
Gabis.
All our @s are going to be in the
They're
description as
down
well
there.
too.
Yeah,
Yes.
go check them out. Anyways, we'll see you tomorrow.
See ya.
Bye.